Hello, how are you?
Good
I'm really
morning.
happy to be here, and I want to introduce the 10th show for Beginners Guide to G Suite from GEG Global. I would like to present Jenna Ashley from Virginia Hampton Road and Melissa Aveling, Male A for us from Colombia. I hope you join the presentation so they will rock today. I leave you with them.
Thanks,
Welcome,
Jordan.
Gina. Welcome, Mel.
Good morning. Can you believe this is the 10th in this series? It's craziness. Well, welcome to the Beginner's Guide to G Suite for Google Sheets. I'm Jenna. This is Mel with me this morning. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning. We're excited to give a little demo intro to the amazing Google Sheets. Let's roll on.
A little bit about us. I'm Jenna. Give me a sign on Twitter if you can't guess. I'm a math teacher, and I'm in Hampton Roads, Virginia. I'm a Global GEG leader, but I'm also a certified trainer and a certified coach.
And I'm Mel A, or Melissa Aveling, as Gerardo also introduced me as, but most people here know me as Mel. I'm at Funguli on Twitter. I'm an international teacher, so MYP and DP. Also mathematics teacher, same as Jenna, but in Cali in Colombia. I'm Australian, but I'm in Colombia. I'm a certified educator, level 1 and 2, and I'm a leader for Global GEG. Hopefully you can enjoy today's presentation, mostly by Jenna, who is super amazing. Yes.
So we are going to talk about sheets today. Just a quick run through, we're going to talk about how to make a new sheet, how to use some of those templates, how to rename your sheets and keep your sheets organized in your drive, some of your menus and toolbars to get you used to them, the really awesome Explore feature, and then some security stuff on sharing, tracking your revision history, and commenting and tagging on other people. All right, so let's get started. So creating new sheets, you've actually got a few options. If you are in your drive, this is my very small drive. I made one just for helping out with this. You've got some options. If you go up here to the New button, you can choose Sheets and just click right on it and make brand new, fresh, clean sheet. Some people like the shortcuts. You can also, I need a sheet, and just type sheets.new in your Omnibox. And somebody mentioned yesterday how this used to just be separate boxes for search. Everything's in one now. It's great. And sheets.new will take you right to a new sheet. Great, clean start, fresh start if you ever just get overwhelmed with all the data you're working with. Have done. I'm super, super big on keeping my drive organized, though. So if you know already in advance where you want to put your sheet, if you go into the folder and do your new and sheets, it'll actually put it right into this folder. And I'm just going to go, just so you can see how that looks. As soon as I create it, I give it a second to save, and now it's right in here. So if you want to keep yourself organized and you want to keep all of your sheets for a certain topic together, if you start from within that folder, you'll keep everything clean, and then you don't have the joy of a super messy G drive. One really nice feature is those templates that we kind of skipped over. If I point to the sheets, I have a lot of templates that are given to me by Google. If you have your business or your school has certain templates they want you to use, you can actually load those from within your organization. But otherwise, some of your more basic ones, and they're sorted by your needs, your education, things that are connected to other things. I'm a huge fan of the to-do list and the schedule. Although after watching the tasks the other night. I need to use those a little more since they're so much more integrated. But anything you can think of, there's probably a template for. And if there's not, and you find one that works for you, you can make it a template for yourself. And all you do is just say, I want to schedule for this week. All I have to do is click on it. And it makes me a schedule. It's a lot easier than recreating the same thing over and over and making a copy again and again. But say I want to rename this. Say I want to do, like, this is my schedule for the first week of school. Okay, so I can come up here to my schedule and just click right in it. And I can add the name, you know, week of 9/4/2020. Okay, so it makes it a little easier. And then that way when I go to my Google Drive, it's nice, it's clean, and it renames it automatically. There's no more file save as and renaming it or going in your computer drive and having to opposite click and rename. You can do it from right within your documents. Mel, would you like to talk about some of the awesome toolbar features we have?
Okay. It might seem a bit scary at first for some people, I understand, because I mean, in the toolbar, there are all these weird number things there, which you usually may not see. I mean, like usually, of course, you see the undo and the redo and everything, but there is this really interesting button that looks like a paint tool thing. And that like basically copies any formatting you have for like a particular cell to another. So if you have something that's bold, it's centered, it's like size 14 or something, and you also want to use that for some other cell, then that automatically copies it to another cell, as Jenna is going to demo right now, basically. Yeah. So instead of manually actually clicking on like those different things, so saying, okay, I want all these sizes, I want this formatting, I want all of that, you can just click on that button and it will automatically copy the formatting for you, which is pretty cool. So at the top, we have a few other options there. I mean, we have the $sign button, which is like if you have currency, you want to change, like if you have like some numbers and you want to make them dollars, then once you click on that, it'll make it actual dollars for you. Instead of you manually actually putting a $sign in front of every single thing, which would take 5,000 years, you know. Then you have like the percentage and like the decimals, all of those things about, like, for example, like in math, like Jenna and I both teach maths, and I'm sure in other subjects as well. I mean, whatever you are doing there, like you will need to actually round to a certain number of decimal places depending on whatever it is that you're doing. If you're doing with budgets or whatever, I mean, like you do need some consistency, so that can do that for you, which is very awesome. And if you click on like the 1, 2, 3 thing there, that gives you like a heap of different formats for numbers. So if you want them to be like dates or times or whatever, I mean, like it will format that for you as well, which is super awesome. Then across to the right, we still have like the normal stuff for font size and all that sort of thing. But if we move all the way across to like the grid thing, yes, the borders. Borders are awesome. Just to make things a bit clearer for you, because if you want like everything to have a border or not or whatever, because you know you want things to stand out and be more epic, I mean, you have all those options there. You can change the border colors, you can change the style of the borders. There's a lot of different options there. Yes, the pink and all the different things. So fancy and amazing, as demoed by Jenna. So awesome. Right next to like the borders option, we also have a merge thing. It says things with the arrows. So it's like if you have like multiple cells and you want to put them into just one cell together, you can use the merge option. So you do have to be aware that, yes, sometimes, like for example, if you have last name, first name, whatever, it'll just, when you press merge, it'll only keep the one that's on the left. Okay, so like usually you would merge cells before before you actually put all the data in there, so you have an idea. Okay, so this one's we want to put together, etc. Then you have like these different alignment options at the top. So you have like the standard like horizontal, center, blah blah blah, which is normal. Like you have that in every G Suite thing. But then you have like the vertical alignment. So like if your cell's really big, so you have like a chunk of text or something, You can actually like put them, like if you want it to be in the middle, you can use that, which Jenna is demoing right now. So amazing. Okay, which is awesome. Yes. It's really good, I think, to have it in the middle. Usually, sorry, it's my personal preference. And then to the right of that, we have a wrapping text option, which is really good when you have like too much text in a cell. So yes, like this. So it'll automatically put it around, because a lot of the time when you have like a long sentence or something like that and you squash it in, it doesn't actually show that whole part. It'll only show a little bit. But when you do wrap text, super powerful and amazing. It will show like the whole part in the cell. Very awesome. And then next we have like it's like, okay, so it's how you can rotate the text. So it's really awesome also for like if you have like different tasks. Like I know Stephanie Howe is in the chat and she has this thing called grid view, and you have like all these different tasks and stuff, and you can adjust. If they're like a long thing, you put them like diagonal if you like, whatever to make it look fancy. Yes, super fancy. It really is up to you. I mean, like, but this is just like different options of alignment, because you don't really see this in the other G Suite apps. Yes, very interesting. Thank you very much, Jenna. Very cool. The other ones that are on the right there, you have like the basic link one, comment, which is normal. And then you have charts, which we're not going to really show, but I mean like, or maybe we all show. Maybe if Jenna wants to show, I don't know. It's just to insert like a graph. No, we don't need to. It's okay. Then you have like filters, like if you, like if you only want to show something from a particular heading. So for example, with like assignment 1 or something, maybe you only want to show like numbers from one to another or whatever. You can use a filter to easily see the ones that you want. Like, because obviously you usually have like a heap of data in a spreadsheet. It's really hard to see like what is actually going on. So, I mean, like filters are really good to just sort out, just to pick out the things that you want in particular. And then to the right of that, the last thing on the amazing toolbar is the functions thing. So it's all the formulas. I know for a lot of people, like formulas are pretty scary, okay? But this has everything here for you. So you don't have to remember, okay, like how do I add the numbers? How do I average the numbers? How do I count how many numbers in a particular column? Because using that particular function on the right-hand side there, once you highlight the data, whichever data it is that you want, if we are highlighting something, wow, we have a lot of data. Yes. And then when you click on the function thing, you go to like sum, or average, whichever, we can click on one of them. And it'll automatically say, hey, yes, you want to find the average of these. Ooh, it is 50. Super amazing. Look at that. We didn't actually have to do any calculations there. She's just did it all for us. Super amazing. So that is all of like a basic idea of all the toolbar things. And then we have the menu. I know there's a lot of things that we could show in Google Sheets, but this is just beginners. We're just showing like some basics. So we're saying that something that is really important is to show how to like freeze cells. That's like, for example, right now we're at the bottom of the spreadsheet and we can't see the headings anymore. Like we don't know like what they correspond to, what are the things there. So the benefit of freezing is that it keeps, for example, that top row or the left column or whichever thing you want to be frozen. So Jenna is going to show the amazingness of how to maybe freeze. You want to freeze like the top row or something like that? Yes.
So like she was saying, a lot, like when I get further down here, I can't see my headers anymore. But one easy way to fix that is up here in your menu. I can go to view, and if I choose freeze, I can actually freeze my top row or my first column. So you can do more than one, but you have to set them one at a time. So if I want to freeze this top row so that even when I scroll down, I can still see everybody's, what the column headings are. That way when I get down here and I'm still entering data, I can still see everything. But say I'm going way out here with all these other assignments, I can also freeze the first column so that when I slide over, I can still see. I can scroll out and say, okay, how did everybody, let's look through this based on this particular column and not lose my column headings. One other thing Mel was talking about was the functions and some of the things you can do. And some of them, if you are a legacy Excel user, then you know some of them. But sometimes we don't remember what the code was, so to speak. And that's where this awesome little explore button comes in handy. In some of your other G Suite apps, you can use it, to find pictures or find information. But instead, with Explore and Sheets, it lets you, I can find, all kinds of information. I can get email addresses for the lowest assignment, the lowest score on, say, assignment 2, everybody below a certain number. I can do my formatting if I want. I can see some breakdowns, some basic breakdowns of my data. But if I don't know what I want, Explore is really nice because I can click in here and I can say, okay, give me the all scores assignment 1 lower than 50%. And for this one didn't know, but last name with assignment 1 less than 50. And it will give me the code. It'll give me the information. And it helps me. Oh, okay, you want the formula? This is what you need to type. You don't have to remember it all. This is a really nice thing. And all I have to do is click to copy it in there. And then I can give myself a list. I can go to a new sheet and say, okay, and I paste that code. And it gives me everybody who got less than a 50 on that first assignment. Don't worry if you can't remember all the formulas, all the code. Nobody expects you to. It lets you just ask questions. Let it help you.
Exactly. That was awesome. I honestly don't use the Explore tool enough myself, but I mean, like what Jenna just mentioned, I mean, you can also click on that formula thing, but you're like, what is sum? What does this count thing for? Why do I even need this? I mean, it's really abstract, whereas Explore makes it real, makes it more like your thing, whatever you want, just type in whatever it is that you need. And Google is epic, and it will find the things that you want. So it does most of the work for you. So the whole purpose of this is just trying to make your life easier, so you don't need to do everything from scratch, which is awesome.
And you can ask it questions, how many less than 50 on assignment 1, and it'll count it for me. And again, I can get that formula if I need it. So it's nice, especially if you're just starting out with it and you don't, just looking at the list of formulas gets a little overwhelming. You've got help, because this can be a lot to look at. One other thing you do have to be careful with is you can share, just like any other G Suite app document, you can share it with other people. So like right now, this one is shared with my sample student, my sample teacher. But when you do that, you have some options. If you notice, I've given this to a sample teacher where they can edit. So say I sent this to Mel, she can make changes to it. But say this was a data sheet I wanted to give my students, or somebody who didn't need to be able to make changes to it. They just need to be able to look at the data, or I want them to only be able to make their own copy and I want them to leave mine alone. I can give them viewer access so that they can't change anything, but they can go look at it, or they can make their own copy. That does come, giving someone editor access does come with some worry of, if people mess up your sheet, even whether by accident or but you can go right here where it says last edit, and this gives us my version history. And when you do that, I can go back through every change I've made to this sheet since it was created last week, in my case. I can go back and see who made every change. I can see when they did it, and I can go back to a version that's before. So say I wanted to go back to this morning. I can just click on it. Oh, yep, this is the version I want. And I have this awesome button right here that says restore this version that will take me back to what it was when we got on this morning. It is super important because it gives you accountability. If somebody, makes a change or accidentally deletes the whole sheet, which we've all seen happen, or if you want to make sure, you want to see if somebody's accessed your sheet or whatever like that. But it gives you, it's all about accountability and being able to go back and correct those mistakes that may happen, especially when we're getting started.
Absolutely. And it's just a reminder that, of course, like if you gave students editing access, for example, originally, you can always revoke that too. I mean, you can always go back and change them back to viewer. I mean, like you wanted them all to collaborate, and now you're like, okay, I want you to bring you back here now, but they're all like distracted still on the thing. You can just change it back to viewer. Then they're just like, oh, we can't touch it anymore. It's like, well, yes, you have to come back here now. So yes, but yeah, super important.
The other one that you can do is give temporary access to folks, which lets them comment and view only. So like I could share this with Mel and give her temporary access. She could go through and make changes, but then I could take that away from her, tonight at midnight, for example. So she could go in, she could leave comments, she could make whatever, I want deadline tonight. I want her to go through and tell me everything I need to change by tonight. And after that, she can't change anything. And the last thing is, especially if you're going to do that, is it's always important to tell people where you want them to look if you're going to send them a sheet, because like Mel mentioned, this is a ton of data, and trying to find one particular thing in it could be, a little daunting. But if I go in here and I see this person's birthday is way out from where it should be, I can leave them a comment and I can at them and say, okay, tag my sample teacher, and see how it's got that at. I can assign it to them so that they get a notification, they get an email that says, hey, she wants you to go look at this. And I can just be like, can you verify this birth date, please? This is really good, especially for like front office staff who have to communicate data with teachers about students, or anything you need somebody to go look at. She may not need the whole rest of this sheet. She might just need this one cell I need her to look at. Was this supposed to be 2015 maybe? You know what I'm saying? So it's really helpful. And you can always see all the old comments, even once they're checked off. You can see them in your comments button up here, your comment history, and you can add comments from here too. And you can set it to where, like, I get notifications if somebody involves me, or if you don't want to get all of the comments, like if this was a school-wide spreadsheet, you can go in and change it for yourself so that you don't see when the teacher down the hall gets a notification, or the lady at the front office goes, oh, look, somebody answered it. You can set it to where you can just see your own notifications.
Absolutely. I think there is one thing, like if you don't want the person to do the viewing or the editing, I mean, there is an option where you can just publish the sheet as well. I mean, like if you wanted to put it onto sites, if you want to put it onto something, you just wanted them to see, like, for example, a chart or whatever, you can also do like the publishing thing. But you can do that for any of the G Suite apps. But I mean, it's just another option if people wanted to do that. They can publish it to the web. Yeah.
And that was actually where we were headed next. Up here in my file menu, I have some options for what to do. I can email it to this exact file to other people, or I can send it to just the people I'm working on it with. When you download it, if you have to be able to take it to, somewhere where you're not going to have internet access, you have offline mode. But some people are really diehard Excel folks. If you have somebody like that, you can send it to them, or you can download it as a PDF. Here's another way to get to your version history we were talking about. But this is that publish to the web option that Mel was talking about. And what I can do, there it goes, is link. I have the option for my entire document, or I can take just one sheet out. I know a lot of us that use certain LMSs that are web-based, you can publish a link, or you can get the code and just paste it right in to, say, Canvas, if you have a Canvas page. So that makes it a little easier to share with people. You can share it out as a link for a PDF to people if you don't want to give them access to your document. I see comments in the chat that say that Sheets is the scariest of all the G Suite apps.
Really.
Is that just because, I wonder if that's just because it's so data-based.
Yeah, I thought like the whole purpose of this though, Pili, and I know that you just joined us a bit later, if you go back to the beginning and have a look at it and maybe calm your nerves, be like, okay, this is pretty chill. This is okay. It's not so scary. Just because there's so many numbers doesn't mean that's a scary app. But yeah, I think, is that about it? Was there anything else you
That's
wanted to
about it, unless there were any questions in the chat, which I didn't see.
Someone was asking about Data Studio, which is like next level.
Yeah.
But for beginner stuff, I don't think there was anything else. Steph is saying that numbers are scary, even though she taught math. Well, okay.
It's okay.
All right.
Oh, apparently there is a session on Data Studios. Good to know.
Good times. Good times. Yeah. Not for me. I'm okay with just sticking with the basics of Sheets. That is all good here. Do we want to go back to the slide deck? Give people the link. If there's no other questions, can we go through? Yes, we went through all of the things.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a bit.ly for like the rest of the beginner series. Like there's maybe going to be like maybe this is number 10. I think maybe there's maybe 3 more. There's 1 more today with Gerardo and Kat on forms. And maybe next week there might be Jamboard and Keep or something like that. But yeah, that bit.ly will link you to the playlist for all of this amazingness. Okay, not saying that we are necessarily amazing. Jenna is, but you know, I feel like all the sessions have been pretty good. And yeah, if you want our slide deck as well, we have a slide deck. But Jenna was like next level epic, and she made a slide deck that has videos of each of the things that we just went through and more. If you want to go back and have a look and be like, okay, let's have a play, let's have a go at these things. We do have like a heavier sheet, I guess, an intense sheet, or not an intense sheet, slide deck.
There's a version that has all of the videos. So if you need to refer back to it at any time and watch, specific video, you can go back and, how does she do that explore thing again? And there's a little video in there for you.
Absolutely. Gerardo, you're muted.
Okay, ladies, your presentation has been totally awesome. I really like it. I think that the purpose of the series is it has been good represented today. And if there's no questions in the chat, maybe we can say thank you to everybody for being here. And please follow Jenna and Mel on Twitter, and of course, follow Global GEG. Please keep up, because later, Kat and I will be presenting forms. It's another interesting tool from G Suite, and I think everybody needs to know about it. Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye. Thank you, everyone. Jenna, Mel. It's okay. Well, going out. It was really nice to see you here.
Nice to see you as well, Gerardo.
Let's go.